Yes, here we go.
Monster May.
Just very polished. I like it.
Yeah, I work on that production, you know? I mean, people don't stick around for the good humor and articulated news analysis. They stick around for maybe a good-sounding podcast. Maybe. So what I have up on screen here is a story, and this is titled Policeman in Mexico Attacked by Flying Witch.
Thank God.
And this is not that old. This comes from 2017. And I'll read down the article, and I actually read up on this a little bit, and we'll see what the article has and what they may have missed. So, in the foothills of Monterrey, Mexico, a police officer encountered what he called a witch flying over the top of a graveyard. This witch then turned to attack him. Frightened and confused, he reacted by calling in the bizarre encounter to his fellow patrol officers. So I'll try to I'll recount this off the top of my head. So what happened is that this police officer was patrolling a neighborhood that had various reports of burglary. He looked up at the sky and saw what to be like a large, almost like a hefty bag kind of shape. Oblong kind of shape. And so he kind of remarked that, it's just kind of like hovering there in midair. And sure enough, it landed down right in front of his patrol vehicle. And this was at dusk, a little bit at night, so his lights were on. And so the lights were shining right on this witch-like creature. He said it had long, kind of scraggly black hair, large black eyes, and when the lights came upon it, it kind of recoiled from the light and covering its face a little bit. He freaked out. He freaked out immediately, shoving his car in reverse and hightailing it back to the end of the block in reverse. And as you go in reverse, you turn your head, kind of turn around so you can see where you're backing up to. At the end of the block, he stopped.
Some people do.
Some people, yeah. I guess you can go in reverse completely blind.
No, have you ever seen this? It's like at the grocery store. You get like some old lady or something. She's just like, fuck everyone, I'm going back.
That's what I do.
Anyway, go ahead. He probably does too.
Yeah.
AJ doesn't look when he just goes back.
He ain't got no time to look. The New World Order is after him 24/7. And so the police officer hightailed it in reverse, and then when he turned his head back around, he saw this witch-like creature on the hood of his vehicle clawing at his window.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's like from a movie.
Yeah, clawing at his window. Now, before that, while he was in reverse, he actually made a call into the station to request for backup. He was panicked. Absolutely panicked, as anybody would be when you're confronted by a big witch.
You don't know the witch, though. She might be a good witch.
Possibly, but I think when a witch leaps on top of your car and starts clawing at you, that can be seen as aggressive or hostile.
What are you talking about? That's how I met my husband. Ex-husband.
Oh, okay. People meet in the weirdest ways. Certainly true. So he had called for backup. He whirled back around, saw the witch on his car, clawing at his windshield. The guy passes out from sheer terror. God. He's pissing his pants because he was so scared.
Pantalones, I think.
Yes. Pantalones. His botas. He's pissing down into his shoes.
Yes. I think that's zapato.
Zapatos, yeah. His sloppy zapatos filled with piss.
Piss.
Passes out. He comes to with his fellow officers trying to revive him. And he flat out tells them, listen, I was probably attacked by a witch. I passed out because I'm a bitch. Sorry, I passed out.
Excuse me.
So, funny thing, probably not going to believe me.
Listen, guys. So he recounts the story. They take him to the hospital. They give him a litany of tests. They make sure that he wasn't on any drugs, he wasn't inebriated, that he wasn't overstressed, that he wasn't hallucinating. This guy passes all test. This guy is a top-notch dude. And with his coming forward, talking about this, not only to the police department, but also reporting this to local newspapers, in turn, there have been other people from around that area that have recalled seeing a very similar thing. And so that kind of leads us to this article. And I'll kind of read down this. I kind of gave you the gist of the story here. But this flying witch then turned to attack, in which I talked about. Frightened and confused, he reacted by calling in the bizarre encounter. Apparently, someone nearby recorded footage of this witch on a video as well. The alleged witch was flying near the hillside of this area. While it seems like utter nonsense, this officer was scared to the point of being made medically examined and was truly shaken up over the incident. And on screen right here, I have a picture of what they are saying is the witch, which does look remarkably like a hefty bag. Probably one of those unbreakable hefty bag, 50-gallon, possibly. Mm-hmm. Best described as a flying humanoid entity, this strangely shaped object has many baffled, wondering exactly what it might be. Some believe this isn't a witch, but some sort of extraterrestrial flying through the air.
What?
The police officer initially was out on patrol in the area, like I talked about.
Yeah, you did a good job from memory. What, are you just looking for any details you missed?
Any sort of details that I may have missed.
Yeah.
And so I'll play on screen the actual. Let's see if I can actually play the video. No, it just took me exactly to some sort of advertisement. That's great. Here we go.
What advertisement?
Here we go.
Sure, makes sense.
Here is the quote from him 3 days later. As soon as I realized it was kind of a woman being or witch, very strange, standing there trying to cover her face, she threw herself against my car very fast, falling on the front and hitting the windshield. She was flying very fast, and it took only a second to hit the windshield glass. I was so shocked by this action that I put the car in reverse and pushed the accelerator, trying to get away while requesting backup assistance by radio. It was a woman with...
What's the code for that? What's the... We got a 504 here, boys!
We got a good old 504...
9,240.
9,240 is the I'm being attacked by a witch and pissing in my zapatos. It's a very specific radio call. Bring more pants and shoes.
And maybe some witch spray.
Yeah. You got any off? You got any extra, like 55 gallons of off? I'm gonna bathe in it.
Let's roofie this bitch. Bring some chloroform.
We gotta find out what she's doing.
What are you doing hanging out up here?
He goes on to say, it was a woman with big black eyes. Everything was black, no eyelids. Her skin was dark brown, and her expression was horrible. She was furiously trying to get me with her claws while I was running away in reverse, calling desperately for backup to any units around. When I finally hit the end of the street, I was so shocked that I covered my eyes, and then I fainted. My God.
Look at this bullshit.
The most incredible, and I understand being scared and everything, but officer, you have a gun, you're trained for these situations, you're an officer in Mexico who deal with violence all the time, you're dealing with drug cartels and beheadings and all this stuff, and the Wicked Witch of the North scared you? Come on. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, though.
Excuse me.
I hope it's right.
There are, as I recounted with the Owlman from England, there are just accounts like this from all over the world of flying humanoids and varying degree of kind of expression, shapes, but they all tend to fly. And a lot of them really provoke a sense of terror in people. On the rare occasion, I have read stories of them helping people or coming to the rescue in certain instances. But for the most part, they seem to be attacking people or wanting to attack humans. Swooping down from the sky, trailing vehicles, throwing themselves up against the side of a door of a vehicle that's already traveling, or attacking the windshield of a police officer. those are more common than these creatures coming in to help anybody. So they're animalistic to a certain degree. They have no regard for law and order. They don't care about law and order, not like we do.
And I bet you they don't pay their witch rent, you know? They probably don't go to their witch jobs. They probably could say, oh, my grandma died. You have 7 grandmothers? What's going on here, witch?
The Wicked Witch of the North, the Northeast, the South, the Southeast, the West, East. Yes.
Northwest.
Northwest, West. All of them. They all got witches.
Okay, that was a good one. That was probably the best monster segment you've done so far.
All right, let's move on.
If you want to join the Slack or Discord, give us an email at ourbigdumbmouth@gmail.com. Check out obdmpod.com for all the social media and donation links. Be a part of the magic.